everybody to another exciting episode of Multiplayer, the podcast by gamers for gamers. I'm your host, Zach Matscanis, alongside the lover boy himself, Javier Ortiz.
What up, boy?
Yo, the mega, the man, the X himself.
Yeah, you like that? It's pretty cool, right? Really nice. Pixel art on display I got.
Yeah, for audio listeners, go and check out youtube.com/multiplayer and check out this like dope little pixel art I guess display artwork. I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, I'm not really
shadow box.
Yeah, I guess so. It's really cool, whatever you'd call it.
Yeah, it's like a shadow box with like pixel art inside. I've seen some stuff like that on Instagram kind of advertised to me. Those kind of things are pretty cool.
Yeah, I might hang it. It's really nice. I love it, and it's got nice attention to detail. It's the if you can't see it, it's the final battle between Sigma and Mega Man from Mega Man X, and like the nice attention to details that Mega Man X's color is pink instead of blue because it's the Armored Armadillo power up that is effective against Sigma, which is like, of all power ups, really that one, the rolling barrier, which doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it was one of those things when I was a young lad playing Mega Man X. Every time I'd get the Sigma, I would just get my butt kicked because I would like cycle through like basically every power but Armored Armadillo.
Yeah,
and like nothing works on this guy, and it's definitely not Armored Armadillo because that's that power sucks. Yeah. And that ends up being the thing. Like it probably took me about 20 tries playing that stupid Sigma boss battle before I figured that out.
Yeah, it's like those Mega Man devs were like, you know what? If you're gonna want to fight him and be effective, you're gonna be dressed in pink, and you're gonna appreciate it.
And you're gonna just roll big armored
barrier balls. I don't know.
Just
it's a really weird power. It doesn't really make much sense.
It's a very weird power. How does it even come out of the gun? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, dude, nothing makes sense with that Mega Man gun. Like anything can come out of it. He can shoot black holes.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know, all the powers that Mega Man can get.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them being ridiculous. Like Mega Man, like regular Mega Man 2, like just the bubble cannon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The bubble gun. It's just like so stupid. Like I'm just shooting bubbles.
It's like why? Like
I don't know. It's so silly.
Yeah.
I was always like the guy I went and I fought first. Like I'm gonna go destroy Bubble Man. What a little jabroni. I'm gonna go slap that guy around a little bit.
He's just bullying at that point.
Yeah, I can't remember who is Bubbles weak against. Was it Freeze Man or whatever?
I mean this. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long. I haven't played Mega Man 2 in years.
Oh man, I think it was Freeze Man. I can't remember, but I always went for Bubble Man first.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna slap this guy around, shooting bubbles at me. Come on, Dr. Wily, you like the world's strongest robot. You got a man shooting bubbles at me.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually you get to like Sheep Man. It's just like what? A sheep?
Yeah.
Why? What's his purpose?
You remember Dust Man?
Yeah.
You're gonna shoot dust at me?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. I think Bubble Man could beat Dust Man. So stupid. But I've always been like a fan of Cutman. Not Cutman. Metal Man.
Oh well, yeah, dude.
Man, just those saw blades at you. Like,
so
what a crazy character.
One thing that's so cool about him is like you look at all the characters, right? When you first play the game, and you're just like, man, who is the baddest mother here? And then you see him, he's the only one with red eyes, and you're like, oh, this guy clearly is the best. And he's got the best weapon, so
yeah. Definitely. And, like I would love a spin-off series with like Metal Man. That'd be dope.
Just buzzsawing people.
Yeah. And you know, it's actually I swear we'll get to the show here in a minute, but you know, one thing I loved about Shovel Knight was like the expansions where you can play as the bad guys, and it's like, man, I would love that for some of like the Mega Man cast.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you're playing through, you know, the game as like Metal Man or you know, one of those guys. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Wasn't there a Japanese Mega Man fighting game where you could play as the bad guys? I don't remember if you could play as all the bad guys, but
you can play them in the soccer game.
you can definitely play the Mega Man Soccer. You're right.
Well, there is the Mega Man Fighters and Fighters 2 game, but you're mostly just playing.
Or is that just like
playing as Proto Man?
Yeah,
Bass,
never mind.
And Mega Man.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought you could play as the other bad guys, but I guess not. That would be a good idea. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, a little spin-off. Like, give me the Metal Man origin story. That guy's dope.
Yeah, he is so cool. It's just those red eyes, man. He's got red eyes.
He's just throwing saw blade. He doesn't even shoot them. He just throws them with his robot hands.
That's true. That's true. He's like,
and it just makes a cool sound effect and everything. Yeah. Like
he's like, we're gonna play a little game, like the Saw guy. Just tossing blades at people.
Hello, Mega Man. I want to play a game.
I want to play a game.
In front of you are 8 blocks that'll disappear at random. You have to get across this fire.
Oh, dude, the fire still. Oh my god, dude. That's still to this day is one of the most annoying things I've ever played in a game. It's it took me like when I was younger, I don't know how I did it. It was just like, well, I think about that a lot as I look at old school games. I'm like, how did I do this as a kid? I don't get it.
Just got free time. Got time in your hands.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. But it's I don't know. All those Mega Man games feel like Saw games. You're just like in these nightmare situations where like you can barely make it out alive.
That's true.
It's crazy. Anyways, remember everybody that Multiplayer is all over the place in your ears and in your face. You can check us out at youtube.com/multiplayered, where you can see our ugly mugs and you can see cool artwork behind Hav, and I guess I have some stuff behind me you can check out.
Yeah,
probably a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say artwork. It's just a lot of stuff, a lot of boxes,
a lot of stuff.
A lot of cool stuff.
I got some new Mario Kart cars in the background now, which is great. Yeah, I've been picking those up. I've realized like just a couple days ago, because I got the Tanuki Mario Kart diecast car and I was putting it up, and I realized I don't have just a regular Mario on my wall. I was like, how do I not have, like, I just assumed I had one
overlooked one.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I have one because I have the Mario Kart diecast gliders as well, the Hot Wheels ones, and I have the Mario for that. So I guess I just always assumed I just had a Mario Kart diecast, and I just don't. I had the Tanuki one, but I got to go find just regular Mario.
Yeah, do a quick search on Amazon, I guess.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, on Amazon they're like $10, and if you go to the store, they're like $4. Yeah. So it's just every time I pop into like a Target or a Walmart, I just go down the toy aisle because I'm like an 8-year-old child in a man body, and I pick up whatever I'm missing. So getting close.
Nice.
And although all the Yoshi colors, they come in like blind bags. They come in like eggs, Yoshi eggs. So if I wanted to collect all the Yoshis, it'd be like, cost me like $50 probably. It's stupid.
That's how they get you.
And of course, everybody, other than youtube.com/multiplayer, you can check us out on podcast services everywhere. Pick a podcast service, whatever you like. We're probably there. Just pick your favorite and then find your favorite podcast, which is us. It better be, or I'm coming for you.
It's definitely on Google Podcasts because that's what I use.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely on Apple Podcasts and all that, and Stitcher, Spotify, all that. It's there. Just go and find us. We're also on patreon.com/multiplayer, where if you enjoy our ramblings every week and silly artwork behind us, go and throw us $1 or $2 a month. It just helps support the show and us doing what we love, which is talking about games. And of course, you can find us over at Instagram at Go Multiplayer as well, where we post silly things every week. And I had a little boomerang the other day with my little Yoshi coming out of the egg. The little
yeah.
That's good. But yeah, Hav, we have a good show.
Always, we always do.
I like to think so. I don't want to like, toot my own horn here or toot our horns. I don't know how that works.
I will toot all the horns
with horn tooting, but I gotta say, our show's pretty great.
I think so too.
I genuinely think we produce a show that I love to listen to.
You know what? That's all that matters. We have an audience of 2, and the 2 people are right here. And that's okay.
Exactly. And, that's kind of the whole deal is like, I love doing this show because it's like, I get to talk to my best friend and we get to talk games. And it's just like a fun hobby. It's my hobby. I love just talking games and hanging out with friends and having a good time. And the fact that we're recording it and putting it online, that's just like
That's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it just kind of happens while we're doing this.
Yeah, I agree.
So, it's might as well just stick it online for everybody to listen to. So, if you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, all that stuff. So, tell your friends, dog, grandma, because we love doing this. But anyways, Hav, let's get into some things. We have a lot of Capcom talk today. I want to talk like a little Resident Evil. I want to talk a little. I mean, we've already talked some Mega Man.
That's true.
We'll probably talk a little more Mega Man since it's on the brain now. I want to talk some Nintendo IPs, a little Kirby, a little Donkey Kong.
Love it.
Yeah, so there's a lot I want to talk about. But before we get into the news, I want to get into what we've been playing.
Nice.
And what we've been playing, I'll start here. I basically want to do a recap on, or basically a check-in on myself for Returnal.
Ooh, yeah.
I rolled credits.
Nice.
I rolled credits on Returnal.
What's your final verdict?
And that is a good game. That is a really good game.
A+?
Yeah, if I had to rate it like out of a 10-point scale, I'd be in the 8 to 9 range, something right in there.
Nice.
But it's, it is a very punishing game. It's a very hard game. It's not forgiving at all. It does not want you to get hit at all, but everything in the world is shooting at you.
I like that.
And, that game just like demands your attention and will not let you go. It's one of those things that's like, you can't save that game. You basically just like, if you die, you're starting over. You can't even turn your console off. You have to just put it in sleep mode if you want to like stop playing it. Like you can't jump to a different game. That game it demands your attention. It's like you're gonna sit down and you're gonna play this and you're gonna get your butt kicked over and over.
And you're gonna like
it. And I'm like, yes, sir. Okay. But I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. The game also like it wants you to play a very specific way, and if you don't like get good at that very specific way, you're not going to beat that game. Like I started that game like kind of hesitant and like I wanted to try and cheese stuff and like hide behind cover. And there's not like a cover system in this game, but like there's obstacles.
Yeah. Run behind a wall or a rock or something.
Yeah, but like the more you play like that, the more you're just gonna get your butt kicked. Like it's crazy. I mean, to really beat that game, you have to just go just full force. I mean, it's kind of like Doom, like the new Doom games, where it's like you'll be put into basically arenas where like everything in the world is trying to kill you, and you're just jumping across the screen, killing everything, and you're kind of picking up these basically it's currency in the game. The enemies will drop when they die,
right,
but they disappear really quick. So and you really need that money to buy upgrades to get through that game. So you really got to like get in things' faces, but those faces have 1,000 bullets coming out of them, and it's like, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But I finally got good, and like I crushed that game.
Nice.
Like I can just blow through most of that game now. And kind of, I honestly think it gets easier as you go, as you like pick up more power ups and stuff. Even though the enemies get harder, I think like some of the guns you end up picking up later in the game, definitely help. And some of like the upgrades you can get in a run are like really awesome. Like the beam saber you can get.
You talking about Mega Man X again?
Just about. I mean, it really does just feel like Zero's sword is awesome.
Nice.
I love this beam saber, and you can just get like stacked upgrades on it if you find them. Everything's random, so it's like if you find them, you can get these insane stacked upgrades. Where like if you kill somebody, you get like additional protection and speed for like 30 seconds, and then when you kill somebody with a melee move, it'll like strike lightning down on like 2 other enemies.
Nice.
And like all this stuff will start to stack in a crazy way. It's just awesome. I really dug it. Like the story is like weird and interesting. And the final bit of that game, it's like the ending's kind of like, it's very strange, and it's something I need to go and like read some thoughts online about it. But there's a secret ending that I'm working at right now. I'm very close to that, but you basically have to beat that game almost 2 more times to get that secret ending. And
Oh
so
wow.
I'm almost towards the end. Like I'm at the point where I have to do one more run through that game and then I'm done.
So since there are secret endings, right? And you know, I guess every run that you go through you'll get different abilities or power ups and stuff, and to make your way through the game. Um, I mean, can you beat it in one sitting? Like this sounds like a game where if you're constantly starting over, like how long would you say it takes to beat it?
So if you started that game from the very very beginning and tried to do a full run through, it would probably take you like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh wow.
If you could probably blow through it in 2 if you really know what you're doing. I basically did that the other day. I needed to get through that game and find like these very specific things to pick up, and I have to go through each of there's 6 biomes in total, which are like the different worlds in the game. And I probably blew through it in like 2 hours, since I kind of, even though the world resets and shifts, like, you know, once you've seen it a few times, you kind of remember where things like roughly are. Because it's basically just taking the same set pieces and just moving them around.
Right.
It's not like totally random. So it's like once you kind of know those set pieces, you kind of like, all right, I know where I need to go here, and this room will probably have some power ups and this, that, and the other, and this room's definitely going to have a crazy enemy I need to fight. So I think I probably blew through it in about 2 hours from start to finish to kind of get what I needed. And I basically had to do one more reset and that'll probably take me about an hour to like get through to the final boss and beat that mofo one more time, slap that baby around,
Nice.
show him what's up. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool game. It's not for everybody, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself, especially somebody like I don't typically like, roguelikes and games of that nature, but this one really grabbed me in an interesting way. And there's more story there than I thought there would be, and it really just feels like a Metroid game, like a hardcore Metroid game, and I love that.
Nice.
Like I love the music, I love just everything about that game. Like it feels so much like a Metroid. It's crazy.
Nice. I'm excited to get to it. That's on my.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna probably after Resident Evil. I'll probably get that one.
Yeah. So I guess that's a good segue. So you've been playing RE8,
Yeah,
right? RE Village, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So I got through Castlevania, right? Symphony of the Night, and I was gonna start. I was gonna restart it because I know that game has multiple endings, and you can like totally, have Dracula's castle like inverted and play through that. I'm gonna get to that eventually.
Right.
But before RE8, I started Mega Man X2, which
oh nice.
I've never played any of the other X games after the first one. I don't know why. It's really weird, but I just never did as a kid. I'm not sure. But Mega Man
X, it seems like everybody was like that. Everybody played X.
Yeah, the drop off is just I don't understand.
Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3, I feel like are crazy rare games for the Super Nintendo, which is also like really the only way to play those games.
Yeah.
And it's just it's super weird. And I played X4 and I think some of X6, which were both for the PlayStation. But yeah, I mean you're not the only one there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's odd, right?
I'm in the same boat.
I never understood why that is, but yeah, but like I mentioned before, like I bought that Mega Man Legacy bundle, which came with X and the regular Mega Man games. So I started X2. It's fun. It's weird playing it though, because I'm so like, it's hard, but not necessarily because, it's a hard game. I mean, it's an old school Mega Man game, but like, it's just because I'm so not used to it. Like, I'm so used to X1 where I know where everything is. And so I can just, like, I could play it, like, blindfolded. But, like, this one, I'm like, it totally throwing me off, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Resident Evil 8. Man, I definitely like it more than 7 because it feels more Resident Evil-y. The premise is kind of ridiculous. I don't know how this dude Ethan ends up in like Transylvania or wherever he is, but
Yeah.
he's there. And like after the first one, they're like, "We had to move here to start a new life." It's like, why? Why of all places?
You picked the world's creepiest place
Yeah,
to move.
it's such a weird. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense, but that's not why we're here. You know, it's Resident
Yeah.
Evil. You gotta fight some crazy zombie things, but it's fun. You know, it's way better. I mean, and this is just my opinion. I like it more than 7 because it still has like horror-ish vibes, like spooky vibes, like all of them do, but it feels less more like a first-person horror game. Like it's much more. It's got some nice adventure-y, action-y elements to it, which I really like. But man, you know, we've said it before. I just wish it was third person because like I feel so disconnected from this Ethan guy because it's like
Yeah.
I don't even know what he looks like, to be honest. Like I don't
Nobody does.
yeah, I don't remember what this guy looks like at all. Like he's just random white guy. Like I don't know who he is. And like the only connection you have through him are his hands because his hands just get like
just mangled.
yeah, dude. I like it makes no sense. Like the liquid in this game, the first aid liquid, we need that stuff in like our world because what he goes through, and then he's just like, oh man, he just pours it on his hand. He's like, all right, I'm good. It's like that makes no sense. Like that you're just totally fine now after what just happened.
It also kind of confuses me when like you go to block an attack, and it's like if you block and put your hands up, and you know a dude hits you with like a battle axe, it's like you take less damage than if you weren't blocking. But it's like, dude, that's just your hand. You just lost your hands.
Yeah, and I don't want to give anything away with spoilers, but you're absolutely right. It doesn't make any sense. And there's a point in the game where something does happen and you're just like, there's no way. And then he's totally fine. You're like, what? Like, this guy can't be human. Like, there's got to be, and I'm starting to think he's not. Like, I feel like there's got to be something wrong with him that he's able to recover so much from what he encounters. It makes no sense. But yeah, so.
It's also what's it called? I mean, it's all the games all the Resident Evil games have this like disbelief to them, or it's just kind of ridiculous. Where you know in the other Resident Evil games, it's like if you get bit by a zombie, you become a zombie. Except for the characters that you play, if you get bit by zombies, you're just fine. You just rub some plants on your
some herbs
neck or
just
whatever.
Like, oh, it's better.
Yeah, it's just like. Why are these people immune to the zombie bites? It doesn't make any sense. But you just suspension of disbelief, I guess, is the word I was looking for there.
Yeah, it's true. And the same thing happens with this one, where it's like you've got these they call them lycans, these werewolf zombie guys. But yeah, man, if they bite you, totally fine. It's like nothing. You're fine. But yeah, it's really weird because like, you're in this Eastern European setting and everyone has like American accents. Which is
that threw me off in the demo. I was I'm not into this at all.
Yeah, like you go to like at one point you're in the village and you meet this girl and she's like, we have to get to Louisa's house, and I'm like, you sound like you're from like New York. Like why? Like who is Louisa? Is she in New York as well? Like I don't get it. Like none of you sound European or accent or anything. You just sound like American people. Like did we all move here?
Yeah.
And like. The game takes place present day. It's supposed to take place like 2020, 2021, and you're in this old world village where it's like nobody has like a TV or a phone or anything. Like they have electricity because one person has a car. You see cars, but that's it. And you're just like, I don't.
Yeah. You're
telling me that technology has not like affected this place in any way? Like this place looks like it's like the 1910s. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's like that's what's throwing me off. Like if I suspend all like story elements, I'm having fun. But once I start thinking about story elements, I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like why Like, why am I here? Why are these people here? Why does no one have a phone? Why is there's no local police? There's nothing here. It's just like this random little town, like that's out of time. Like, it's such a weird. I don't know. It's weird, and maybe it'll get
Yeah.
explained later. But so far, I try not to think about that kind of stuff.
All the Resident Evil games are just wacky as far as their stories go, and RE4 has a lot of that going for it, where it's like this weird village out of time. It's like,
But
what's
like,
going on? You got this like,
at least they're all infected, right?
Yeah.
They're all, as soon as you arrive, everyone's infected. So you're just like, okay, there's clearly no sign of civilization or normal life. Fine. But this one, they're not. You run into normal people, and they're just like, we got to get out of here, and then they die. You're just like, well, maybe if you had a phone, we could survive. But like, for some reason, no one has one. But yeah, it's I'm enjoying it though. It's still fun. I'm in the castle right now with the vampire ladies. I've fought and killed the three daughters. Now all that's left is Big Mama, the big tall one. Just got to take her next.
Big Mama.
Yeah, it's great though, and you can you can shop for items now, which is really great. You got the Duke, who's like this big, giant, bulbous man who's just like, at one point he says, "What are you buying?" Ha ha ha. An old friend of mine used to say that. You're like, oh, you know the merchant? Like, how do you guys know each other? It's like, I want to know that story. But yeah.
They used to date.
Yeah, they probably did. But it's fun. I like being able to craft ammo and stuff, and craft like first aid kits. I really like that aspect of the game. Because you can just pick up a bunch of random supplies and then make stuff as you need them. Yeah, it's I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to see where it goes after this castle, because like, the whole marketing for RE8 was you got to fight vampire ladies, and like in like the first, like, I'll say hour in the game, I think you meet all the bosses in the game at one point, and like, oh man, vampire ladies are just the first ones. And so, like, there's different areas that you're probably going to have to explore after the castle. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what else, like, the game has to offer. Because Resident Evil always has a way of going from, like, weird horror-iness to, like, weird sci-fi horror-iness. Because there's always, like, a weird lab or something science-y that eventually happens. So I wonder, I'm curious to see if that's going to happen in this one. Because so far, it's just been like, ooh, you're in a creepy castle and a creepy village, and there's creepy werewolf zombie monsters and creepy vampire ladies. So you're like, okay, when am I going to see the laboratory that's inventing all these weird monsters? Because I'm expecting something like that.
Going to space.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine? the
castle just takes off like a rocket.
I would actually,
you go to the moon,
man. I'd be like, that's where all the technology in this village was. It was made for the castle to go to space. I would like that a lot, actually. I think it'd be so much fun. I'd be like, why not? This guy Ethan, like, sure, he's in space now. And that's the other thing. It's like, you got this normal guy that's just, man, he's good with a gun. I'll tell you that much. Like, he's not a soldier, but he can handle himself.
Yeah, it's like everybody else, like a cop, special ops, like all this stuff. He's just like some guy who like just has bad luck.
Yeah, and it's funny. He does say, like, there are lines that he says that are pretty funny where he's just like, why do people around me keep dying? And you're like, oh, dude, I'm thinking the same thing.
It's because you moved to Transylvania, you idiot.
Yeah, honestly. What's weird is like the original game, or RE7, he's from LA. And he goes to Louisiana to find his missing wife. It's like, all right, believable. That makes sense. He's looking for his wife. But like, why not just go back to LA? Like, why do you go to like another part of the world? Like, it's just
but go to like Hawaii, like live on the beach, man. Like,
yeah,
why you go to the world's creepiest place?
That's the one part that I'm just like, I don't understand why we're here. I just don't get it. But maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe. So, kind of speaking about Resident Evil, I wanted to kind of just talk Capcom in general. We've talked RE, we talked Resident Evil now, we've talked Mega Man, and now I just want to kind of talk Capcom just as a whole, because they've been doing great this year. They've had a great year, and a great few years, really. Like, it's interesting. They've been doing really high sales on some of their recent games that they've released. So like Monster Hunter Rise has been huge. Resident Evil 8
I always
seems to be doing
forget how
great
big
numbers.
the Monster Hunter series is.
Yeah, I mean it's super crazy.
Yeah, like I've never played a Monster Hunter game. I never, and it's just never grabbed me. But I know it's beloved by a lot of people, and it's a huge franchise, and they always have new games, and like World was huge, and yeah.
It's definitely a series that I haven't played, and it's because I'm not a fan of that kind of game, which is basically like kind of openish world, like RPG type games with just super crazy spongy enemies that take like 30 minutes to beat. Or I mean, some of these things take like an hour to you're just like slashing at like a big monster for an hour, and it's like that's not for me. It's just I'm just not into games of just giant spongy enemies. I just never have been. Like things like like Borderlands is kind of the same way.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like looter shooter games I'm not really into. Just find new weapons, then you go and fight bigger, spongier enemies, and it's just never been into that kind of game. They just get super repetitive and boring to me, but a lot of people love it. A lot of people love those types of games, and Monster Hunter has been crushing. I mean, obviously World was huge. Monster Hunter Rise, which just came, to Switch, has done great numbers. And Capcom just announced that they've shipped 3 million copies of Village already, and that's just
nice.
That's physical copies.
That's true.
Just physical. So although I read an article that their numbers in Japan are super low. Like they're like in the first week they only sold like 150,000 copies.
Really?
Physical, yeah. But apparently, from what I was reading, like first person perspective games in Japan just typically don't sell very well. But they also like, because of the lockdown that they have there, and it was only physical sales, it's like that number could just be like way off. Could have been doing better digitally.
True, very true.
Which is just the case overall. Like a lot of times we don't get like digital numbers for stuff, but it's one of those things like time will kind of tell. But according to Capcom, like Village has sold great. At the like physical, like I said, 3 million plus like whatever they're doing digital wise.
Yeah, not bad.
Which is like, a lot of times it's like the ratio is like 2 to 3 now. Like two thirds is typically digital nowadays.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
that's my like, copy. I bought it digitally. I just downloaded it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, there's not too many people. There's like weirdos like me that buy everything physical, but most people it's all digital now, especially with all this COVID.
Yeah, I'm very picky about what I buy physical copies of nowadays. I realize that. I don't know what it is. It's like it's usually Nintendo games I get physical copies of. I don't know why. For some reason it's Nintendo. I get the little mini disc or mini cartridge thing.
It's because you like to lick them in between playing.
Basically, yeah. Just, man, it tastes good. Whatever they coat these things in.
Yeah. So I wanted to go through a couple things here. With Capcom doing so well right now, like I said, in the last couple years, Monster Hunter and Resident Evil have done great numbers. Like Resident Evil 7 did really well. And the last two Monster Hunters did really well. The last Resident Evil did really well. In the next like 5 years, like what do you see Capcom kind of working on? And this can kind of be, you can give me like what you wish they were working on, which I can probably already predict. But what do you think they're going to be working on over the next few years? You think they're just going to kind of stick with basically Resident Evil and Monster Hunter for the foreseeable future? Do you see them kind of branching out and doing some other things? Like,
well,
what's your thoughts?
So there's RE-verse, right? That got delayed because it was supposed to be bundled with Village.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but they delayed. I forget. I don't know if there was a reason, but that got delayed for some reason. So
probably because it's bad.
Yeah, I mean it didn't look great, but
they can't make like a Resident Evil multiplayer game to save their lives. Like they just they're all just
maybe they
awful.
realized that they were like, man, this is not good. Let's just scrap this for now and let's just revisit it.
Yeah, they need to just stop it. Just cut it out with these crappy multiplayer modes. They're just so stupid.
Yeah, I honestly like. It makes me think they're gonna, based off of 7, and so far with 8. Yeah, man, they might double down on this first person Resident Evil aspect, and continue the series in that direction while trying to stay in tune with like what made RE4 great, and which what they did with 8. I mean, it's got 4 elements, which is very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like there's no stopping Monster Hunter. I have no idea anything about it, so I'm just gonna assume, yeah, they're gonna keep doing that for people because it's clearly people love it.
Yeah.
But man, I want them to I want them to do Mega Man again. I just want them to. I just want a good Mega Man game again. That's all I want. And like,
Yeah.
Be weird, be creative, do it open world 3D Mega Man. I don't care. Like, just do something interesting and like revisit that, because everyone knows that franchise. That franchise is never gonna die. It's huge. I'd really love them to revisit that. And then Street Fighter is also one that's not gonna die. They continue the Street Fighters. I wish they would kind of revert backwards in terms of artistic style, because man, I think the latest Street Fighter and like Marvel vs. Capcom, man, there's some ugly looking games. I'm sorry, they just, I don't like the way they look at all. The people look really weird. They look like they're made of like bricks. I don't know. It's just, man, it's ugly. It's really ugly to look at.
I'm not a fan either.
yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just, they look weird. I don't know what it is about it. I just want Mega Man again. I just want Mega Man back. It's really all I need from Capcom, to be honest. I just want good Mega Man again. That's what I want the most. And you know what would be really cool? Let's get some. I think they released the Disney Afternoon Collection, like bundles.
Ooh, yeah.
But I would like more of those, man. Like, I love like those old school Disney Capcom games. Like, they're really good. Like the Darkwing Duck game, it's kind of like Mega Man, but there's some different like gameplay elements to it compared to Mega Man. So I'd be down for like give me more bundles of those old Disney collection games, because man, those are really fun.
Yeah. So I have a secret game I want to play with you, Hav, and it's going to get me to like a point I sort of want to make here. So I have a list, and this actually comes directly from Capcom's website, which is pretty cool that all this is just like accessible to the public. But they have listed here all of their top selling games in order.
Okay.
What do you think the number one top selling game is for Capcom?
I want to say Street Fighter 2, but Street Fighter 2 has so many different versions that they might have like stolen from their own like pocket. You know what I mean? Like they're like,
right.
So maybe not Street Fighter 2, just because there's like 10 different versions of it.
Yeah.
Plus, older games probably didn't sell as well as today's games. Is it a? Can I ask questions? Can I narrow things down?
If you want.
All right. Is it a Resident Evil game?
Nope.
Okay. So I want to say it's a Street Fighter game then, because that's just been around for so long.
Yeah. So I'll just to move us along here, I'm gonna give you some of these top games.
Okay.
So number one, and this is with the caveat that Monster Hunter Rise and Resident Evil 8 are not on this list, which are like the brand new games that just came out.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so they just haven't added them, I don't think. So number one, best-selling game of all time for Capcom is Monster Hunter World.
What? Really?
16.8 million units sold. Okay.
Okay.
And that is like double their next game, which is Resident Evil 7.
Really? 7?
Yeah. 7 with 8.5 million units.
7?
Like, yeah, RE7, which is kind of crazy. I would not have expected that.
Are they counting like
following-
the are they counting like what's it called? What's it called? When you're in the goggles of the
VR.
Yeah, VR. I don't know why I could think of that. I'm just covering my eyes, this.
I would assume so because the VR just came packed in, I believe.
Okay, so
you could just play RE7 in VR if you had.
All right, I guess that makes sense. A lot of consoles. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Still, man, 4. Well, I guess it was a GameCube exclusive at first, and GameCube games just didn't sell. All right, I guess.
Yeah. So, followed by RE2, the remake. It seems like for PS4,
Oh, the
Xbox
remake.
One, PC.
Wow, man, old games really
RE2
did sell
remake.
well.
Yeah, no. Followed by RE5, followed by
Oh.
RE6.
Ew.
Followed by, that's the top 5 right there. So Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Resident Evil, Resident Evil, Resident Evil. Followed by, and all those are like basically 7 million,
That's
8 million,
nuts.
right?
No
right in
Mega
there.
Mans, no Street Fighters.
Followed by Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which is like their big old DLC.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. Followed by finally Street Fighter 2 with 6.3 million units.
Wow.
And they have broken on here like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So there's a couple different versions of Street Fighter 2. If you start to combine those numbers start to add up. Like Street Fighter 2 6.3 million and Street Fighter 2 Turbo's 4.1 million. So they do start to like add up. They're pretty
Right.
similar games, but they're different enough that they've broken them out into different categories here. And then basically it just starts going like it goes Street Fighter 2, then Street Fighter 5, then the original RE2, then Monster Hunter, then Monster Hunter Freedom 3, Monster Hunter Generations, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and then number 13, Devil May Cry 5.
Oh my
So you finally
god,
get a
Devil May Cry.
Cry.
I forgot about that franchise.
Yeah. Followed by Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, followed by Monster Hunter 4, followed by Street Fighter 2 Turbo,
Where's
followed by
RE4?
Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, followed by number 18, Resident Evil 3, followed by Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Resident Evil 3 was the remake for PS4.
Right.
And we're starting to get pretty low in numbers. These are all like 3 million units sold. So like not too many. Like so RE8's already like surpassed like Resident Evil 3. It surpassed all that kind of stuff. Followed by
Go ahead.
So followed by number 20, Street Fighter 4, followed by number 21, finally a new game, Dead Rising 2.
Oh yeah, the Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is so weird to think about like Capcom, a very like it's they've stood against the test of time. They've been around since I started playing video games, right? They've been around forever. They're very
been making games since like 85.
Yeah, very storied company, developing a lot of games for, it's always been for multiple consoles and stuff. They develop a bunch of cool games. But it's so weird to think about their sales numbers are like, you think about like Breath of the Wild, how many units does that sell? Like in comparison with the best Capcom game, it's just like, man, they don't sell as well as I thought they did. It's like outside of Monster Hunter World and I guess the new Resident Evil games for some reason, but like, and I will say I think 8 will pass 7. I have a strong feeling it will.
I think you're totally right on that.
But it's so weird to think like, man, a Sony game will come out and it'll sell like millions and millions of units, and it's like that's expected. But like Capcom, this storied company that's been around forever and developing games forever, they don't really crack that rooftop that too often.
Yeah, they really don't make many games that surpass like even 3 million units. Like the fact that RE8 has shipped 3 million units is like phenomenal by Capcom standards. Like,
Well, I'll tell you what, they did a very good job marketing that game. They did a really good job marketing that game. And I love how they
100%.
played coy about it. Man, we had no idea so many people would love these vampire ladies so much. Well, who would have thought? It's like, you knew exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, so so I could basically read this entire list, but it would take all day because there's like, over 100 games on this.
Sure.
But I want you to take a guess how many Mega Man games are in this list of 103 that have cracked 1 million copies.
Man, are we counting every single Mega Man game, including
every
X
single
and...
Mega Man game, every single one, including Mega Man Legacy Collection as well. That's like considered its own game.
Yeah. I'm gonna say there are 6 Mega Man games.
You're 100% correct. So here's the list. So number 60 is Mega Man 2
60
with 1.5 million. Okay.
Wow.
That's their best-selling Mega Man game.
Wow.
Followed by number 72. You're not going to believe this one. Mega Man Battle Network 4 for the GBA at 1.3 million.
I will say
1.35.
The Battle Network games are actually kind of fun. I remember playing them on my Game Boy. I did enjoy it. Like that weird era of the network Mega Man, where he was like an internet navvy or avatar. They actually did come out with some good games. Like the one on GameCube, I really liked as well.
Yeah, this is kind of like a turn-based strategy game, right?
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance ones were. The GameCube one, though, was just a regular Mega Man action platformer. But like,
oh yeah, I remember that GameCube one, kind of being like that. Yeah.
It was fun though because it was different. It was like it wasn't just the normal like you get abilities from bosses. It's like the whole idea was like you have these chips and you have different powers, and so it was really cool. Like you could run around with like a sword. You could like stack your sword ability so it becomes like an ultra long sword. It was a lot of fun. I really liked that one actually. So they actually did have some. I completely forgot about the network Mega Man games, but they're actually pretty good.
Yeah. So that's number 72. Number 75 is Mega Man 11 with 1.3 million.
Oh my God, old games really don't sell well.
Yeah. Number 84, Mega Man Legacy Collection with 1.2 million. Finally, Mega Man X, the beloved game.
The best one.
1.16 million.
Wow.
Okay. And then number 98 is Mega Man 3 with 1.08 million. So
That's
it's like
nuts, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the games that are doing better than Mega Man, I mean, you have a lot of them.
Yeah, tons.
You have things like Dragon's Dogma. You have like Onimusha, Lost Planet.
God,
like
Onimusha.
all these games, Ghost and Goblins did better than Mega Man 2.
That hurts me. that hurts. Like that hurts physically. Because that oh God, Ghost and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's across the board. Like Mega Man games just don't sell well, and it's just like Metroid, where like people champion Metroid. Like we want a new Metroid game. We want a new Metroid game. You gotta buy it.
Yeah.
You gotta buy the Metroid game. Like they don't do well, and it sucks. Cause like, man, I love Mega Man. I really wish they would take the Mega Man franchise and try something new with it, because like I love the old school Mega Man games. I love the old school Mega Man X games, but I think you have to do something new with that series, just like they did with like despite how I feel about it, like RE7 and RE8 are huge games.
Yeah, they're new steps as well.
They're different than the old RE games in a lot of ways.
Very true.
They have the core bits and pieces that people enjoy, like the weird keys and puzzles. You're playing like a doofus character running around like a creepy world with like bad voice acting and stuff, and like nonsense story elements, but like crazy bosses and boss fights. And so it's like they basically took what people loved and just tried something new, and it connected with people. And I really wish they would do that with Mega Man. Like take something like like Mega Man Legends, and like give me like a brand new
give me an open world Mega Man game, man. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, just try something different. Try something different with the franchise. And worst case scenario, it doesn't do big numbers,
But none of your games do
hopefully
big numbers.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things like if you sold 1 million copies, and that's probably pretty decent for
Yeah.
Capcom. But now that they have a little money in the bank, like Monster Hunter is a runaway success now. Runaway success. Like Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise, doing stupid numbers. They should take that money and reinvest it into like their franchises that are a little bit on the dormant side, like Mega Man,
Yeah.
and really just like blow the lid off of like what that franchise can be. And
Agreed. I think they recently tried. Wasn't there like a recent Mega Man cartoon? I don't know if that's still around. I remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember not too long ago I saw something about like a Mega Man cartoon on like Cartoon Network or something, but I don't know if that was.
Yeah.
I don't know how recent that was. I just remember seeing a cartoon like, are they trying to reboot Mega Man or something? And yeah, but that's it. That's all I heard from it.
Yeah, I really wish. I'm going to talk about this a little later with Kirby as well, but I really wish that they like just playing Returnal, like that could be a Mega Man X game in a lot of ways.
Dude.
That could be like a Mega Man X like open-ish world, like third-person action game. Like you could take Mega Man, give him these crazy powers, he's running through a world, kind of Metroidvania style. Like you're picking up powers after beating bosses that will unlock new areas and stuff.
Sure.
It's like you could take Mega Man and do something awesome with it. Like he's got the dash, he's got the charge. Like whether it's Mega Man or Mega Man X, like I think you could really just give that to a new fresh team that wants to try something different and just see what they can do with the franchise.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
But
you got any final thoughts?
I was gonna ask if Beautiful Joe's on that list.
No, not at all.
Wow.
Which is probably like, at least let me double check. Let me double check before I say that. I don't think it is though. I was just kind of.
What about the Minish Cap? Is that on there?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, it's not on
A
here.
Legend of Zelda game isn't out there. Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know if I don't know the deal with that. Maybe that's just not on here because it's like technically a Nintendo game, but not like a.
But they made it.
They did make it, so I don't know. But yeah, really, this entire list, it's like mostly Resident Evil, like a touch of Devil May Cry, a little Street Fighter,
Right.
Monster Hunter, a little Dead Rising, Bionic Commando's on here.
Oh my god.
Ultimate, Marvel vs. Capcom's on here. So Strider's right there at the bottom. Final Fight.
I forgot about Strider, dude. Man, the Strider game, that I don't know if it's the most recent one, but the one on like PS4, it was like the remake or HD remake of the old one. Did you ever play it?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
It's great. It's really, oh man, it's so cool. It plays really well. And you're just like, man, I forgot how cool Strider was.
Yeah, that's a series I totally missed out on. Number 100 on this list, by the way, is Phoenix Wright Ace
the
Attorney
Ace Attorney.
the trilogy. So it's like that cracked 1 million. And basically they've had 103 games on this list that have cracked 1 million, which is like their kind of platinum list of games. So it's good to see one Phoenix Wright on there, but man, they've made like 20 of those games. I'm surprised it's only, it only sells like 1 million. I thought that was a little more popular, but it's an interesting list. So, if you go to, if you just go to Google and just type in Capcom sales, you can pull up like, basically their list of titles and sales. You can look at what's called game series sales overall.
Oh, nice.
The series, it's weird because they say like number of titles and it just sounds off. Like Okami, it says number of titles 11.
Forgot about
I guess
Okami.
that's just the different versions of. But it's like, is there really 11 different versions of Okami? It sounds, kind of.
I don't know.
Same thing with like Marvel vs. Capcom, 16 titles. That doesn't make any sense. Or like Resident Evil. Resident Evil has 141 titles.
Maybe they mean like every single Like not just every title, but like every single version that went to a different
Yeah.
system, like console.
It must be
Because
like,
RE4 was on Resident Evil games were on the iPhone at one point.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Looking at all this, just a final thing I'll mention, then we'll move on because we're already almost out of time. Like,
Wow.
Monster Hunter, according to this, they have unit sales of 66 million for the games that they've come out with. Resident Evil unit sales 107 million. So, that's like their biggest franchise, really. Mega Man only 36 million.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's crazy. And, Mega Man's been around way longer than most of these.
Yeah. For all of them.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to have like basically an extended look on that. I know it kind of jumped into like the rest of our show, but I think it's interesting. It's an interesting look at like
it is.
There's a reason we're not getting Mega Man games. There's a reason we're not getting like more Dead Rising games or Devil May Cry games.
Yeah.
It's like there's certain games that are their money makers, and I really wish that they would take another crack at Mega Man and try and find something that really clicks with a new audience. Put them in Fortnite, and like just find some ways to like get Mega Man out there and celebrate it and get people wanting to buy a new type of game.
See, I want franchise. They should do more like cross company cooperation. Remember the old days where you could like in Mega Man X you could get the Hadouken Street Fighter, and I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
In Dead Rising, you can eventually get the Mega Man Buster, I believe, at one point.
Yeah, that is great.
You can
get the whole outfit.
Yeah. Give me some more cross company cooperation. You know how much I would love Resident Evil 7 or 8 if one of those hands was a Mega Buster. You know how much I would love that game even more. Like I already don't care about this guy Ethan, and not to say that I don't like the character. I just don't. I don't know what he looks like. All I see are his hands. This is all I see of this guy. It's like if you make one of those a Buster, I would love him even more.
Yeah, for sure. Just give me a first-person Mega Man game.
Might as well. It's a nice little experimental thing,
Sure.
It's like I could play. It's a thing where it's like you gotta 100% that game before you get the X Buster. It's like I'm fine with that because then I can just run around just do. Like I would prefer that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's blow through this last topic before we completely run out of time. But basically, there's been some reports of a new Donkey Kong game and a new Kirby game, and obviously, those are staple franchises, so like they're gonna come out eventually. But one thing I thought was really interesting with both of these is for Donkey Kong, it's like reported that the Super Mario Odyssey team is developing a new Donkey Kong game.
Love that.
And there's back and forth rumors about if it's 2.5D or 3D. Nothing's really confirmed there. And then for the Kirby game, I thought this quote from Hal Laboratories was interesting. Let's see, where was that? It was
we're making a Kirby game.
Yeah, they had just an interesting quote, and I totally lost it. Shoot.
It's going to be the pinnacle of Kirby games.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically the gist of it. Is like whatever their next game is, they want it to be like the next step for Kirby.
This is what you've been waiting for.
A more detailed Kirby. Look how pink he is. You can see his skin cells.
I hope they make that like a 3D open world game, because I don't think there's ever been an open world like Kirby game.
Not open world, but we've definitely got a 3D Kirby game before.
Well, yeah, like I know that I know like Crystal Shard. Well, they're all kind of 3D-ish, right? It's 3D art style, but like I mean, like moving around in this world, not just because I think for the most part Kirby's side-scrolling games, right?
For the most part, other than Crystal Shards, well, I guess that's kind of
a side scroller.
Yeah, it's a side scroller. Yeah, I mean they're basically side scrolling games. I can't really think of like an open, like an open-ish, like 3D kind of world that Kirby's been in. But so essentially, just kind of wrapping both these into the same question. Like, what do you want from like a new Kirby and a new Donkey Kong game?
Kirby, I want to open like I want this to be kind of like the N64 Renaissance era, where it's like we're putting games in 3D. It's like let's do that because we got Breath of the Wild, awesome. We got Mario Odyssey, awesome. Let's see a new Donkey Kong and Kirby game in new 3D worlds, right? Donkey Kong 64, love it or hate it, it's a great game. And it's just I think the biggest issue with that people have is it's a collectathon, right? There's too many tokens and whatever else you collect in that game. Other than that, it's the formula of great rare games. It's a great open world, really fun levels, interesting characters, and that's the thing I love about Donkey Kong that I want them to revisit is like the Kong family. Like I want to play a game not just as DK or Diddy. Like I want to play as the other characters. Like I like Dixie Kong and Funky Kong, and then there was like that one orangutan. I forget his name. He was like he was really weird. Orangakong. Like I liked him. Like or like Cranky Kong. Like I want to play as the Kong family. So like if you were to give me like a DK64 kind of style game with like different characters or like newish ones that you can play as, like they don't have to be the same ones from 64. But different ones. I'm so down for that. Because I think a lot of people forget DK makes good games. Tropical Freeze is really good. Like, it's a really good game.
Yeah.
And it does not get as much love as it should. And I think that's fair to say about the whole DK franchise. Kirby, I would also like them to visit this open world space because, to my knowledge, it's always been side scroller and it's always been just baby mode. It's just like Kirby games are like, here you go, little boy. Like, you can do it. Make it across this level. Oh, you flew. Good job. It's like, I know how to play Kirby. Stop baby. I know he's like a baby creature, whatever he is. But like,
I don't think he is a baby. That Kirby boy's been around for like 30 years.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what Kirby is, to be honest with you. It's just this pink monster of doom that eats everything.
Yeah.
But like, make an interesting open world Kirby game, man. Like, it's such a... they've put him in robot mechs, they've put him in like fighting outfits, and like they put him in all these weird different things, and like they're great. Put him in an open world. Let me see. I want to fly to different places as Kirby in this open world. Like, I just want, for these franchises, I want that N64 3D open space renaissance. Like, I want that back. Because that was like when the N64 came out and like everything was becoming 3D open world. I was like, oh my god, this is the future. This is amazing. And I want that again, but with their other franchises. Like, I already know Mario and Zelda are great. I want to see the rest of it be great as well. Or the rest of Nintendo's IPs to be great.
Yeah, I would love to see, like, it really excites me that like the Mario Odyssey team is making a Donkey Kong game, or rumored to be making a Donkey Kong game, because like that team is so good at like 3D games, and making like huge, exciting, fun worlds to explore. Like, give me that in a Donkey Kong world, and like awesome. Like, let me just play it, kind of like you said, like the Kongs, and just be able to just explore this crazy wild Donkey Kong Country world.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Fighting the alligator, crocodile guys.
Yeah. One thing I think would be kind of interesting to explore, and I doubt they ever would, but like my kind of pie in the sky concept would be, it could be a 3D game, but like I wanted to tell this backstory of Kong, like of Donkey
Mario.
Kong, like Cranky Kong.
Yeah.
Basically, like give me the story of like why the original Donkey Kong was like doing the things he was doing,
right?
But like in this kind of like 3D world where he's just misunderstood, and he ends up like taking what's her face, Pauline, and doing all this stuff, and you're basically playing as like a 3D Kong, like throwing barrels and basically fighting this weird plumber guy coming at you, like trying to save his girl, and he's just put in a bad light, and you basically end up with like this story of like why Cranky Kong's so cranky.
That would be great.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, they would never do it, but I would love to hear that story, and it'd be cool to see that in a different perspective too, like in a 3D perspective, and like the perspective of the bad guy from this game, and I think it'd be kind of like interesting.
I would love that, but Mario's not the bad guy. We don't make him the bad guy ever.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. Like, nobody's the bad guy. It's just, it's kind of, I mean, it's a terrible example probably, but like in, The Last of Us 2, part 2.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
They're just misunderstood.
Everybody's got like their own reasons for like doing what they're doing. It's like nobody's necessarily the bad guy. Everybody's bad at the end of the day. It's like Mario's a monster. He goes and just kills everybody. Same thing with Kirby.
That's
I mean,
true.
You could easily make a horror game where you're just playing like creatures running from Kirby as he like sucks up your friends and family.
That's very true. He is a monster.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts for Donkey Kong, and then for Kirby, like I said, I kind of mentioned this with Mega Man, and it's because I've been playing Returnal, but I think you could make like give Kirby to. Or I mean, like if HAL Laboratories is going to make this game, like collaborate with like one of these teams that also do like insane roguelikes, and just give me like a Kirby game that's like definitely more difficult, but maybe there's a sliding difficulty you can put it on, and like give me like a game with like a great loop where every time you play, there's different enemies, you're getting different power-ups, trying to eventually get to King Dedede, and like when you die, it resets. Like give me like just a crazy roguelike Kirby game. I think that would be a lot of fun. And it could be a 2D game.
Right.
Like some of these things like Hades and stuff, these like really beloved like kind of 2D roguelike games. But give it to me in like with a Kirby twist, and I think that could be like pretty interesting. But I would love to see just an open world, Kirby game as well in 3D. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
So yeah, it's also, we're getting into that territory of now there's no more handheld system for Nintendo, right? So these second ideas can't really be like, well, put it on 3DS. Let's take this Kirby idea and put it on 3DS, or this Donkey Kong idea. But it's like, it's all the Switch now. So like, I wonder if that kind of hinders or promotes, depending on their perspective, I guess, ideas for their IPs and like new ideas. Like if I don't know, if they're like, they have this idea for an open world Kirby game, it's like, well, I guess we have to go with that because we can't put a 2D game on a handheld system, So I don't know. I wonder.
But I mean, they still put like that Kirby Star Allies or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a 2D side-scrolling baby game. Same thing with like the kind of the
Yoshi's World,
Woolly World, yeah, like all that kind of stuff. It's like it's still like 2D side-scrolling games.
Yeah, true.
It works. It works on the platform. Like, us as like adult men with like the spirits of children inside of us. We want these games, and we want them like harder and more interesting and trying something new. We probably won't get it, but it's like interesting to speculate. I could see them doing something pretty interesting with Donkey Kong, because it's like, it's not Retro doing it, it's like it's this
That's true,
Mario Odyssey
new team. Yeah.
So we could see something just totally different.
I really hope so. Like I'm unapologetic. Like, I think there's a big stigma when it comes to Nintendo. It's like, are Nintendo fans really Nintendo fans, or do they just like Mario and Zelda? Right. I really do enjoy Donkey Kong games. I think I really do. Like, I love Tropical Freeze. Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii was really fun. Like, I like DK games, and I would love like a new one, make it different, not necessarily, they're all great platformers, but if you're going to step away from side-scrolling platform genre, like, I'm interested. I really am. I want to see what you have to offer, but we'll see.
So it'd be interesting. It's I don't know. I'd love to see them just try some new things. And, I kind of feel like they did try some new things with like the Mario Odyssey game. With like having weird stuff like New Donk City and stuff like that. But give me the Mario Odyssey game of Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Give
us like this,
100%.
Celebrate that franchise. It's been around.
Yeah, I think
technically
40,
longer than Mario Brothers.
I think it's gonna have to be its 40th anniversary. I think
so. It's close to it, anyways. If it's not already there, we might even be at 40 years this year.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Well, while you're looking at that, I'll go ahead and close up the show. So we didn't get I swear we'll get to You Nintendo Don't Know Jack again at some point. I do love doing that, but we just keep having interesting conversations. So
you got me talking about Capcom games the last while. Yep, July 9th, 1981 was Donkey Kong. The original Donkey Kong.
There you go.
40
So
years. That's nuts.
So it's about time we hear that backstory.
It's about time we heard why he stole Pauline.
Yeah, exactly. So that is our show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another exciting week of multiplayer. And I always forget to say at the top of the show, these episodes come out every Wednesday. Every Wednesday they come out on youtube.com/multiplayer, podcast services of your choice. You can also, we post these to our Patreon at patreon.com/multiplayer, where you can also support the show with like $1 or $2 a month. It really helps us out. Just do the thing that we love, which is talking about video games. You can also find us at Go Multiplayer on Instagram. And Hav, where can we find you?
On Instagram at loverboy_Hav.
Very nice. And I'm at Zach Matzganis, at ZACKMATZGANIS, where you can see me, I don't know, post pictures of little Yoshi diecast cards. And
I'll post a picture of my Mega Man.
Oh yeah, you should. That thing's dope.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, that is our show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week. And remember,
we love you, and you should love you too.
We love you, babies. Peace. We here at Multiplayer would like to give a huge special thank you to Kevin Hopkins, William Euchre, and the rest of our amazing Patreon community. If you'd like to support our podcast and get a shout out at the end of each show, be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/multiplayer. See you next time, players. We love ya!